You guys look like you're always having fun online, like your travel, your dancing, your brand deals. But what's the hardest part of this life that your audience never really sees?
The hours worked. I think a lot of people think that
it's instantaneous.
Like it takes you 15 minutes to learn a dance and to get it posted. It takes us hours, especially because there's two of us. Like if there was only one of us and I wasn't worried about cleanliness, I could crank a dance out in 15 minutes. But there's two people. You're trying to make it clean. You're twins, so you look the same, and therefore you need to dance the same. And the cleaning rehearsals for that, like you have to learn the dance, you have to break it down, learn the dance, clean the dance, film the dance, get it as clean as you possibly can. And then you have to edit it, and then you have to post it. We work probably 80 to 90 hours a week, like just on just creation, much less the taxes, everything else that we were worried about right now.
But even right now, like in saying that, we're working on.
Most creators fail not because they lack talent, but it's because they try to do everything themselves. Today, I'm sitting down with twin brothers who flipped that script. One creates, one negotiates. Together, they built over a 1.5 million follower content business off of short form video. Now, if you're trying to scale without burning out, this conversation might change how you structure everything. I'm Mike Collier. This is The Leverage Lounge. Let's get into it. All right, Luke and Paul, welcome to the show.
Go. Thanks for having us. This is so fun.
This is good, right?
Yeah.
You guys are absolute pros. You guys are crushing it. I see you multiple times a day in my feed. So I got to ask, at what moment did you realize that, like, if we don't split roles, this could be a hobby forever?
I think it's interesting because we've been doing this since 2012. And so we started on YouTube, long form, never really blew up. But even throughout that process, we get to watch a lot of other people get very large, make a lot of mistakes, and know what to not do. And throughout that time, we also met a lot of people in the film industry, in the social media industry, in the YouTube industry, that gave us a lot of, I think, leverage into how to leverage our following. So that when we did start growing, especially on short form, it was an incredible way for us to then kind of bank off other people's mistakes in order to know how to succeed. And from that time, Paul has always been the more creative one. Paul got a degree in theater. I got a whole master's in business and organizational development. And throughout that time, we learned that there was a lot of, I think, differences in who we were, but then also where we could really thrive. So I did take over a lot of the negotiation. And as soon as we got to a place where we were able to leverage anything, I started the negotiation tactics that I knew. And Paul really handled most of the video editing. Now, we both are very, very creative in the creative side of it because we do a lot of dance and we're both professional dancers. And so with that, we both have a lot to say about what happens in the dancing that we do, and we bicker most during our choreography or rehearsals. But in all of that, Paul still does have, I think, a creative edge in the storytelling elements.
I do think also, even early on, I remember we were daily vlogging at a time, and it was 2 years straight. We killed ourselves thinking this was the way to do it. It was in the Casey Neistat era of 2016, 2017, 2018. And it was brutal. And I was sleeping about 4 hours every night trying to get these editing. I was working full-time in the production world, movie making and commercial advertising. And so working 8 hours a day, 4 hours of filming, 4 hours of editing, 4 hours of sleeping, and you were right back at the office. And it was absolutely brutal. But in that, we learned a lot of cool skills. And also in that, we kind of established a lot of roles out of necessity, out of keeping us alive. So this was right after Luke graduated with his master's. It was kind of during the final push of your master's. And then as we moved into this daily vlogging movement situation, Luke, he would drive me everywhere because every time we'd get in the car, I'd pull a laptop out and start editing. And he would cook the meals and keep me alive.
Communicate with everyone. Communication.
It was Luke.
It was me. And then anything I needed to know, email, anything that Paul needed to know was gone through me. And then everything else was pretty much Paul editing.
So I would
all
say
the time.
A lot of our roles came from this.
That's true.
From that era of like establishing the mission and the format at which we created. And yes, like you said, a lot of our creating is shared in the sense of the choreography and the dancing and the filming. But then once it gets out of that filming, it is kind of in my court again, and suddenly becomes a lot more of my job to establish the look and the feel and what we're doing with it. Where Luke, especially now that we've hired out help because we could not keep up with the content creation side of it and the negotiations because we were sitting 8 hours a day behind a computer trying to negotiate brands and stuff. So we hired help as a manager to help us out. And that has revolutionized Luke's role. And so Luke, right after we hired,
first, I mean, it was hard because I was like, well, now what do I do? Like that was my job.
Where's my place in this
and
world?
Now, so now it is like we're like a tiny little company, and it is like you kind of jump through what you get to do. And that's like one thing that's, I think, beautiful about Leverage. You find new things that you can do. Again, looking for what needs to be done and doing it. For Paul, a lot of his stuff he was overthinking all these beautiful edits for dance videos. And I was like, well, he hates doing these like little vloggy style, like let's go get food or let's go get ramen videos. Like I can do that. So I just started editing and learning my own, kind of putting my own voice behind things. And it became very evident who was in our, just us, became evident who was editing which thing because it had a very casual tone or it had a very polished tone, no matter what we did. And then Paul also had to kind of tone back his professional, and because AI is getting so good that stuff started looking like AI, and we're like, well, you're putting a lot of time and effort into something that other people are putting 10 seconds into. So
it still does, and I need to work on
we got to pull back, make it look a little more real, casual.
Yeah,
but with that, I think we both taught each other.
Rub some dirt on it every once in a while.
Rub a little dirt on it.
It can't be too perfect.
Yeah.
But in that, we've both learned more about our own creative skills and our own creative storytelling and how we want to bring that to the table. So my role now is a little less negotiation. There still is a lot of negotiation happening, but more communication with our manager and things like that. But now a lot of it is in communication. Again, we go back to communication and editing, but there is quite a bit of, right now, this is tax season, it's January. So have spent the entire last 2 weeks just doing taxes. So
we changed tax professionals, so that's also been quite the challenge.
But again, hire the right people to do the job.
Yes.
Once you get them set up, you don't have to do anything. That's the goal anyway. Again, like we're leveraging tax professionals and getting them set up. We have a video editor to do our long form because we really want to break into long form, especially on YouTube. Our channel's very old, and we've obviously done it since like 2012. And I think in some ways we need to probably take a pretty major look at either rebranding that channel into something brand new, like a new channel altogether, just to try to break into that market. And we're struggling with even just like the thought of that. But in my brain, it's like there's really no other choice. But
I just took that leap. I just took that leap
tough,
myself.
Man.
It was primarily real estate, and I had some start-stop moments in that whole journey in my on that YouTube page and that channel, and then started the Leverage Lounge podcast. And about a few episodes in, I started realizing that like it wasn't gaining the traction that I was hoping that it would. I sat with my SEO manager, and I was like, "Man, what do you think is going on?" And had a couple conversations with ChatGPT, leveraging AI. What we came down to is that like the channel was old, the algorithm was confused.
Yeah, right. It didn't know where to
put you.
Yeah.
It's like, are you real estate or are you a podcast? Like, what
business podcast? Are you real estate? Are you what's going on? And are you going to be true to this? Like, are you going to continue to post? Are you going to post consistently? Like, can we trust you to keep our viewers on the platform?
Right. And that's I think that's its main concern is, are you keeping people on the platform? And if you are, then it'll push you out. And then if not, that's the hard part. And for us too, I think that is a good thing that we need to be considering is, do we need to rebrand an entirely new account? But then our biggest fear, and is we've done it before. We've started 2023, we started the year with a brand new channel. YouTube did a hostile takeover of the account and said, you're faking to be these other boys, that you're not them. And we're like, no, we are them. Like, that's
so they deleted it like immediately. Like, it was like day 3.
Yeah. They thought we were reusing.
Now, there is a way around this. We were trying to change to our professional business email
instead of using my original like junk email that we used from 2012.
Oh, okay.
And they thought it was
a completely different account. It was a completely different
somebody
email address.
Ripping videos, even though there was no duplicate videos on the old stuff to the new stuff.
But it was duplicate from like Instagram.
So we've been a little bit afraid to do that.
Yeah.
We did ask some YouTube professionals. We had some people we were able to get in contact with. They said, yeah, you have to do it on the same email. So never lose that email. We're like, okay, well, that seems a little daunting. That email is many years old. So.
Many years old.
So,
well, I think there's some lessons in there as we're as people are listening. Like there's some lessons in there. You guys learned some lessons, but as you're sharing it, like people are listening and they're like, okay, I kind of know what not to do. Or a lot of people are in the same boat, trying to figure out what to do with their brand. What is next with where they are? If they're not happy with where they are, or they're happy but they know that there's more, then it may be time for a rebrand or a whole new channel. And you guys are partnered with some recognizable brands like Lug.
Oh yeah, we love Lug. I love Lug. They have been such a huge partner to us. We met them at D23 last year. They were a main sponsor, and
Destination D23.
Destination D23, yeah, in Orlando. We walked up to the booth and immediately met the owners and just had a perfect friendship connection with them. Really aligned. We love bags. I love travel, so there's a lot of bags that we go through in that process, but never quite had met somebody with that level of what they've been doing. And so that was such a fun way to partner with them. We ended up partnering with them. We work with a dance studio here in Kansas City. It's not really online. We don't talk about that a lot online, but we get to call it investing in the next generation. And so we do some choreography for them. We train with the kids. We go to class. I was there last night. My legs are feeling it today.
We'll be there again tonight.
But we'll be there tonight.
Yeah.
But in that, we take a group. We don't personally, but we work with a troupe that we choreograph for, and then we send them to Disney World, and they dance right outside downtown Disney. So they did that in November, which is so fun. But we partnered with Lug to gift all the kids going on that trip a bag. Well, eventually, they actually upped it to 3 bags. Each kid got 3 bags.
Yeah, I saw that.
Crazy. That was crazy.
Wild.
But it was so much fun that we could leverage, in a sense, our influence to work alongside such a notable brand to give back to these kids who we give so much to every week, it was just such a, I didn't make any monetary value from that. There's no monetary value that comes back to me, but it doesn't matter because we were able to leverage what we did.
Those kids were so excited as they were opening those bags. I saw the content and the bag reveals and they're like, we keep on thinking, like you said, it was probably supposed to be one, and then they got 3 bags, and they were over the moon.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I have a question for you. What has to be true before you say yes to a deal? How do you know who you're going to partner with?
I mean, honestly, right now, a lot of times with our manager, we won't hear about the negotiation until it's gotten to a certain stage in the negotiation because there's so much that falls out. You'll have the initial push, you have the initial pitch. If they don't take the bait on the rate, then obviously there's no need for us to know about it until it gets to the agreed upon rates or whatever, and we're moving into creative.
There is a level of notoriety that we are going for in terms of what level of company we really want to work with. We've worked with small companies before, and we don't mind that at all. Most of the time, they don't quite have the budget for what we're
and what Taylor will accept,
and what we'll accept, which is, I mean, maybe sounds egotistical, but that's where you are in a level as you level your business. One thing that we really want is we want to be aligned creatively with us. And so we don't want just something that is going to be just a kind of a throwaway. I'm not just going to talk about something and be aware that it's not going to do well or that there's going to be no creative element to the background of the video. We want to enjoy it. One of our favorite things ever is working with brands in commercial because we have a background in production. We love working and putting ourselves into a brand. Just recently, we did a brand deal with Grunes, which is
health
German
gummy
for greens, but it's
we order
a greens
Grunes
gummy.
I love Grunes,
and they
dude.
reached out
I have 2 boxes in my kitchen right now.
Same.
We have a lot of boxes. We keep buying it because we keep doing. But anyway. Regardless, they came to us with this idea of we want you to do something where you just go into Sam's Club and show that it's there. And FaceTime video, something relaxed and chill. And both Paul and I are like, that won't perform well at all
for us.
And we don't even like making that kind of content. So we pushed back and we said, hey.
No, we didn't push back. I just made it.
We didn't push back. We just said, yeah, sure. And then we just made an epic 80s style commercial.
Like an infomercial.
And we were wearing
So you said yes and did it your style anyway.
Yeah.
We just said, sure.
But then because
to be fair, I did film backups of
just in case
they didn't like that. I had since we were already there. I was like, I'm going to film it just normal. Just
anyway,
in case.
Here's the deal. We knew that if we could show up and really prove ourselves as a brand, that the brand would buy it off of us in order to use it as an ad, or they would have to pay us more to boost it as an ad. So the way that social media marketing works is that they pay us an initial ad just to put it on our account. That's buying leverage on their account. So we're just putting an ad we make on our account. We have to clarify that it's an ad. We have to make sure it's an ad, but we get to make it on our account. If they really like it and they want it to be seen, Instagram suppresses ads for the most part. You do kind of have to pay them on the back end to get them to actually push it out to a regular demographic, or you can pay them to reach a certain demographic, which I think is the best leverage of money. Pay your creators and then pay Instagram to make it be seen. Otherwise, it's really hard to get the leverage because they're suppressing it. TikTok does the same thing. YouTube does the same thing.
And especially because you have to
We have to
solidify that
clarify
it
it's
is
easy
an
for them to
ad.
suppress it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to put hashtag ad. The algorithm knows it's an ad and it can suppress it. Like it knows what to do. So in that, we know that the only way the ad's going to be seen is if you like it enough that you're going to put money behind it to make it seen.
Or that it feels so organic to you that nobody knows it's an ad. You're not assuming it's an ad.
And there
The problem
are
is-
some organic ads that do well. They just have to be very strategic.
Yeah.
And most of the time, they're not fully compliant with the FTC. Like where they're not
Right.
fully
'Cause you're supposed to
disclosing
put
that they're an
hosted or
ad.
ad
Yeah,
or whatever.
Right.
yeah. There's all these things. So there's ways around it. And then the FTC kind of can flag those companies and it's a problem for them. But some people care more about that than others. Fortune 500 companies tend to care the most. And they're like the ones who are like, no, we have to be complicit.
They have the
They
most
have
to
the
lose.
most, and they also get the
exactly.
most audits.
So
Yeah.
Bruins, though, we brought them this ad. They said, we love this so much. Can we pay you even more to boost it? We're like, yeah. Because to boost it, they're also leveraging your likeness. So there's an extra add-on fee for them to boost it. So we're
Okay.
leveraging every step of this. So then they come back to us and say, hey, Target saw your ad and we're going into Targets. Will you make a video about us being in Target too? So now we're leveraging the initial video 3 times because of our creativity. So we're in the middle of working, but we love the product
Great.
already. And so then we went above and beyond in the first one in order to lead us to make more money and even more money.
So that doesn't really
future.
answer the question though, because the question was, what has to happen? What has to be there before you'll say yes? And honestly, budget. If the budget isn't there, I won't say we won't
But
talk.
also there is, I think,
There is a level of
like, I think
usability. I remember. Okay, so one. This is kind of a cool story about a brand. We were going to Japan, and we asked Taylor. We said, Taylor, can we get a brand deal in Japan? She said, let me look. So we started looking around. We were sending her like, oh, this is a company in Japan that's doing tourism things. Can you reach out? So she was trying to find like people to reach out to, and we saw an ad for Klook, and we said, I've never used Klook, but I sent it to her and said, hey, they do some partnerships. Could you reach out? They reach out. They say yes. But what's funny is we were actually using Klook after we had found that ad and sent it to her. We started using Klook to book things. So we were already using the product.
oh, this is a really good
We're
product.
like, this is actually working. This works really good. And now we've used Klook a lot. But then we ended up doing an ad with them for a YouTube video, which was our first ever sponsored YouTube video.
Long form YouTube video. Yeah.
Over on YouTube, which was super cool. And so that turned out really well. It didn't perform
But
as well
again,
as we wanted
what's the
it
answer
to.
to the question? I think that a budget is the main reason. Like, will the budget fit? But also our desire to work with a company. If the budget's low, but my buy-in to the company is high, then I will, my personal buy-in
Your
or bias
personal
to the
affinity.
company.
Yes.
So say like Red Bull, for example, doesn't pay anyone, but they pay in experiences. So they get these influencers all together. So we did the national dance competition for the Dance On. It's like it's their big world freestyle competition. They bring a bunch of dancers together, also the competitors. They put them all in the same hotel, host workshops and crazy events for all these dancers. Well, we're networking with dancers. We're learning different styles of dance. We are pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone, and you are doing it all surrounded by other influencers who are interested in the same thing you are. So the edification of that was huge. And my buy-in to Red Bull went from I never buy Red Bull, and I still don't really buy Red Bull, but to like really loving the brand as a whole, because the brand's like, we don't even care if you drink Red Bull. We just want you to like our brand. So that's why they sponsor sports stuff and all this stuff. But
their marketing budgets are in the billions because they've decided
what they put on.
They said, we don't want to necessarily tell you to drink Red Bull. Like, yeah, like their TV ads are going to tell you to drink Red Bull.
Red Bull gives you
but a genius marketing strategy is they put on these massive events of like the Dance On or the boxcar races or whatever.
Yeah, the
boxcars. They're coming to Florida.
But the thing is, all of that just has Red Bull branding on it. So you associate boxcar racing with Red Bull. Dance On is associated with Red Bull. So like all of the marketing stuff and anywhere you'd want to film at this hotel where we were staying for this influencer event had Red Bull branding around. Now, are you incentivized to have Red Bull in the shot because you're at a Red Bull event? Yes. Yeah, you're incentivized. But I'm also having a great time. So I'm not really thinking. It's manipulating my mental structure to not hide it.
In essence, my buy-in to that company outweighed the fact that I wasn't getting paid anything. I was getting paid in the experience. So there is, I think, a level of like what needs to be there. Budget, yes. but also my personal buy-in. So there is a personal bias that comes into who we want to work with. And if the buy-in is high enough, then I'm 100% going to do it.
Yeah.
Like you guys brought up
even like another brand reached out recently and it was a much lower rate than we would normally accept. But
we love
we love the brand, so we're gonna go do it, and we get paid. Like, there's a lot of brands will do stuff for free, and like because we like the brand.
So anyway, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
well, no, I was just gonna say you made me think of a great point, which is, as you're building a business, some of the most successful companies have strived to do exactly what you're talking about. Red Bull has done, which is you are not your product. The brand is different from the product. The product or the services that you offer can be different from what the actual brand is. Obviously, there's alignment, but your product doesn't equal the brand, right?
No.
And so it's an experience, when you start thinking about like, the studies of, what does Apple mean? Like, if you had to describe, the Apple brand, what is that, right? And it's just like, it's security, it's high level technology, it's, innovation, whatever, right? And the same thing with like a Harley Davidson. People don't buy just Harley Davidson because they like motorcycles. There's a whole bunch of different motorcycles, but like, it's good quality. That there's a certain level of like status that comes along with owning a Harley.
There's culture around it. So like the Harley Davidson culture around just not the motorcycle even.
Yeah.
I think Disney is the same way. We look at Universal, we look at theme parks as being like more than their product. Disney has done a great job of leveraging.
They would leverage their product in their experience.
Well, they leverage the product in the parks, but they also leverage merchandise outside. But park merchandise that you might buy from the website and you might never go to the park. Like they're still leveraging all these levels outside of who they are. We have film, but they have a lot of different things, but the film and all this stuff. Universal, same way. But we also look at, I was thinking about Pokemon recently. We were talking because Pokemon's 30th anniversary. The collectors are in savage. I mean, it's crazy. And they're all my age, 35-year-olds with adult money and single. No hate to the Pokemon community. We love y'all. We are a part of you. We are you.
We are you.
But with the 30th anniversary coming, there's a lot of new drops. Lego finally dropped one. They've waited forever to do it. We see Igloo, McDonald's is doing cards. The card drops are in crazy. Adidas. All these official collabs that are going nuts, but they're leveraging nostalgia. So the brand is usually movies and video games, but now they're leveraging everything outside of that to make it even a bigger deal. Now, if Pokemon ever wants to talk about a brand deal, please, anyone,
send me to Japan. That Pokemon theme park, get me there right now.
Give me another theme park in Japan. I need it.
That would be so awesome.
It opens like
next February. Next month. Yeah, February 27th.
Oh my gosh. I want to go.
If anybody happens to be listening and you know somebody, hook your boys up.
Hack your boys up.
We love Pokemon.
And you guys look like you're always having fun online. Like your travel, your dancing, your brand deals.
Yeah.
But what's the hardest part of this life that your audience never really sees?
I think the hours worked. I think a lot of people think that
it's instantaneous.
Like it takes you 15 minutes to learn a dance and to get it posted. It's like it takes us hours, especially because there's two of us. Like if there was only one of us and I wasn't worried about cleanliness, I could crank a dance out in 15 minutes. But there's two people. You're trying to make it clean. You're twins, so you look the same. Therefore, you need to dance the same. And the cleaning rehearsals for that. Like you have to learn the dance. You have to break it down. You learn the dance, clean the dance, film the dance, get it as clean as you possibly can. And then you have to edit it, and then you have to post it. We work probably 80 to 90 hours a week, like just on just creation, much less the other taxes, everything else that we're worried about right now.
But even right now, like in saying that, we're working on hours of backlog from our trip to Korea and even our trip to Japan that we did in September. So these are still things that we didn't get posted or they didn't get edited. And so now we're working through the process, filling in with VO. Every time you see a clip, I had to go through and that's strategic. So there is I think people don't understand the sweat and tears. I think blood maybe is a little aggressive, but the sweat and tears that go into
sometimes our feet bleed.
Yeah, from dancing, I guess. But I think people don't understand the mental exhaustion. I also don't think people realize the pressure that it is to hit upload.
Because at the end of the day, our job is at surface level very easy. It's very easy.
Like we have a dream job.
Nobody is dying if I don't get a video posted.
It's simple. Not easy.
It's simple, not easy.
Yeah.
And I think that while
the concept is very simple.
Yeah.
Right.
But then I think there's a lot of pressure, especially as you grow and as you get to a point where you're posting to millions of people.
Established.
Even once you're established, that you are I've got to think through this not only in the casual nature of making it more casual, making it more relatable to the masses. Then you're also thinking about like, am I saying something wrong? Am I doing something wrong? So you have to look at it through more lenses. And so you're watching it more times before you post it. And then you're stressing out more times about, did I do that wrong? I didn't, I messed up. I misspoke. I misspelled a Korean word and I now need to either edit it but if I edit it, it will make it harder for it to circulate. So then do I not edit it and I just let people comment about it? But then if
in essence, you're overthinking all the time. So every step is overthought, which is why I think it is important. We've talked about leverage. That's kind of your focus. But even in leveraging, we've hired a video editor to help us take some of that overthinking out of the video editing of long form videos, because that's where we found that we overthought the most. We're like, we're too boring. We're talking too much. We're talking too long about. But if we remove ourselves from that edit and we allow him to see it from new eyes, there is a power in that. He says, no, we're going to leave that in because it's human. We're going to leave this in because that's who you are. And that's who I know you to be. He's a personal friend. So it's helpful to be like, this is who I see you as. Like, this is good. This is authentic.
Does he ever edit anything where you're just like, but I wanted that part in there?
No, never. Almost every time it's like, this needs to speed up. Like, I'm like, oh no, this is too long. He's like, no,
let it be.
We just posted a video to Patreon, which said we do crowdfunding through Patreon, which I think is a great way to really invest in your audience, your bought-in audience. So they have to pay a small fee in order to have access to these greater videos. And we've started strategically because we didn't know what to do with it. We're doing like extended cuts of vlogs that are going on YouTube that are pretty cut down and like a little more like digestible to a faster paced, maybe more ADHD type audience to those. We're putting those on YouTube, but then the ones on Patreon are like more drawn out. And the most recent one we just did, there's this drawn out conversation of us drinking coffee and just ADHD rambling for probably 30 minutes.
It's long.
And I was like, we were like watching the live premiere with everyone last night. And so we have people commenting and I was like, sorry about this, y'all. Like, this is so boring. And they were all like, no, we love this. This is what we eat up. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, why?
They love it, man.
But they'll eat it up because I'm critiquing myself.
You're insecure.
I'm insecure about that. And there is a level. So having an editor to help take that out is so great. In the same way, I think for us personally, if we could expand his pay to even include this or hire a virtual assistant or something to help us do a lot of the posting, because we overthink the posting process. What is the caption? Is that a good caption? Should we do this differently? Is that relatable enough?
Did I spell that right?
Did I spell this right? Like, that's not our skill set. Like captions, funny stuff, that's not really where we land. It's in the content that we really have made our name. And so having somebody to release that would be so helpful, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, and I think it's important to also state here, as we're talking about, hiring an assistant or social media manager, virtual assistant to help you with this, you're still able to maintain your voice, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's their job to help you to maintain your voice. So yes, maybe putting in some funny quips and stuff like that, but it's not something that you wouldn't say. It's just that you probably something that you wouldn't think to write as a caption in that moment. Right.
And
but
honestly,
it's still very much aligned with who you are and your personality.
Right. The minute I like literally get a video, because like when we upload, you have to video tag the audio, make sure everything's all good. You get to that last step, which is putting a caption, tagging people, whatever. My brain goes completely blank. Like it is literally the blankest.
It's so funny because when we're filming it, you'll be like, "Oh, we should caption it this," and we'll be laughing at each other, like making, and it's so funny.
You get to the post.
We get to the post.
I don't know what I said.
I have no idea what I said.
What did I say?
There is no ideas. The ideas are gone. So it would be nice to be able to, like, when we're creating the video, be able to write down those ideas that we have, send them off to somebody completely random, and then they can pick their favorite.
Yeah.
They can help flesh it out too. And as I think that sometimes it's that overthinking that we have. That we did a collaboration video with a friend, and we were overthinking what to put on screen because we wanted to say something about, like, we were doing like typical jazz warm-ups in every class ever.
Yeah.
And so it's like side step, kick, side, it's
everything
like
you do in a jazz
everything
class.
you've ever done. So anybody who's ever taken a jazz class will know these things that we're doing on screen. And it's a collaboration with our good friend Amanda. And so we were just messing around when we were filming it, and it's very funny and very cheeky. But we wanted to put something on screen to make it really feel like we're making fun of jazz classes, but also like, I see you, like we've all been there. And so I wanted to say every jazz class ever in 2005, because the song we're using, 2006, came out in 2006 and every jazz class ever used it. Like every competition team used it. Like it was so overdone. Paul was like, that's stupid. No one's going to get it. And I was like, no, let's do it. So we texted our friend Amanda.
She liked that one too.
We're like, what should we do here? And I was like, I kind of want to say this. And she goes, no, that's what it needs to be. Like, I think that's perfect. Paul was like, I don't like it, but whatever, fine, outnumbered. He puts it on screen. 2.5 million views later, it like goes crazy because the entire caption was everyone saying, no, more like 1999, 1998, 1987. So they start saying, no, that's what happened when I was there, or 1986.
Yeah.
So we have all these comments of people saying, no, that was my year. We're like, no, that's the point. It never changed.
The point is it never has changed. The only reason the year exists is because of the song.
But no one's thinking about that. They're just thinking about their own personal experience, which
the
created
movements.
this like controversy. Not really, but just people being like feeling so seen by it, but wanting to be seen in their own year. So then it was like, we should just recreate that video 100 times and just put different years on it. Yeah. And honestly, it could go crazy.
And just dress like different eras.
Just dress like.
That's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
Hey, that's what I was about to say. That's a great idea, actually. What's a behind the scenes moment that would surprise most of your followers?
The moment we fight.
Yeah, people don't.
I think people don't
realize
realize that we fight.
Fight is probably a pretty direct term.
I was about to say, you guys
we don't fight. We bicker a lot. And
we are brothers, though.
We are brothers
at the end of
after
the
all.
day. Yeah.
I do think, I think you have to think about it in a brotherly love way. It's very much bickering, and it's sometimes can get pretty feisty, and sometimes we can take a couple low blows. We have taken a couple low blows. Low blows.
Yeah.
Not like physically harming each other, but maybe a verbal stinger.
Yeah. A little bit of I know this is going to hurt.
I know this is going to hurt, so I'll just
zing.
poke that. But
I think
a little zinger.
Yeah. I think it's funny because we get asked quite often. One of the main questions we get asked is, do you guys ever fight? Or do you always spend every moment together? And we were like, yeah, but we don't really think about it. Like, we've always been together. So it's always been the two of us, kind of us against the world.
Literally since you were kids.
Yeah.
You've always been together. So it's not as rare to you guys as it might be to somebody else. Right.
Somebody's like, do you ever get sick of each other? I'm like, not really.
But yes and no. Like being sick of someone makes it sound like you're like done with them, and like we'll get like irritated with each other. But like honestly, we can work through it. We had therapy growing up, which is really helpful. So like we're able to like process things quickly. If someone took a low blow and it's like that was that okay, that was too far and that hurt my feelings. Blah blah. And we can talk through the emotional shame cycle of like. This hit. Now I'm feeling this.
The gym choreographing and having a full on
therapy sesh,
and then we move on.
And then we move on, and we're able to actually make some really good work sometimes. But I think one thing that people may think that they know or think that happens that doesn't is like maybe once a month, maybe once every other month, we'll have a night where we won't work. That's like the reality.
This week, actually, with all the tech stuff, we would work really hard during the day so that we could just sit and watch Pokemon
at night,
Indigo League at night, because numbers are not our favorite thing.
No.
Video editing? Yes. I'll work for hours. I'll work 8 hours a week, and I love creating, make videos all day long. But taxes and getting somebody signed in and going through all my bank statements and making sure they know that it is so not my favorite thing ever. I don't know how accountants do it, to be honest. And so getting somebody set up to be my
that way, man. God bless them. That's why we hire them.
God bless
them. That, and you are
God bless you. I cannot even imagine doing that every day. You're like, oh my gosh. So getting somebody set up was so daunting that I just had to be like, if I have some kind of reward at the end of the day, I can just play my Switch and watch Pokemon. Like, that's all I wanted to do. So last week we actually took several evenings and just didn't work, which was so nice.
But that happens, I mean, like so rarely.
It's so rare
that like that's just an interesting thing that I was talking to a friend
last week. I was like, this is incredible.
This is
what happened? Like
Sunday night, we should have worked. We had a lot of things we could have done before our Monday call with our editor, but I was like, nope, I'm gonna sit right here and not do a single thing.
Yeah.
And it felt great.
I think there's like it is hard, like the work-life balance of what we do, and I think that any entrepreneur or anybody who is doing their own thing knows is that it is now or never, and it feels that way all the time. Like you are feeling like, if I don't keep up with the Joneses or whatever, if I'm not keeping up with the other entrepreneurs I know who are hustling at 5 a.m., then I'm never going to make it. And the reality is like you have to do it what works for you. And if
also,
it doesn't work for you,
work smarter.
Yeah.
Hire a housekeeper. Could you stay more focused on things if you hired somebody to help you? Like for so long, Luke and I have been cheap our entire lives. Like we grew up with nothing. And so like being cheap is in our DNA. And I don't want to say that like in a bad way. I think that like budgeting and being really frugal is great. It's great for longevity, especially in this culture where we don't know how long this job will last. Like we know that we're building to something else, and probably will be in real estate, but like not, and that's not a diss to you, Mike.
No.
But like that's
How
the
it
natural
is. It's a
tendency
natural
for
tendency.
the influencer is to grow and grow and grow, and then a lot of times get canceled and then go work in a job.
Yeah.
And real estate is a great job to have because we can.
Canceled is aggressive.
Yeah.
Usually it's fade into obscurity.
Or
and then you
burnout.
because you can't like
Well,
it's all
which
about
one- I
like
don't know which one I'd rather would
I
rather
know,
have. I don't know
I
if I'd
know.
rather be canceled or fade into obscurity. Which
obscurity. It's so hard, and we see it time and time again. Again, like I said, we started it in 2012, so we've watched the rise and what we call the rise and fall of many major, A-list
Brands.
influencers or whatever. And in that, you really see about a 10-year span of relevancy. And our relevancy didn't start until 2021, 22. But that means we are like, it's like a ticking time bomb. You don't
Now-
know how long you can do it. There are people who have continued to reinvent themselves. And that's the only way. You have to be aware. Again, as dancers, that was really popular 21, 22, 23. Now, people don't really want that. So it's like, how do you bring more of yourself?
I agree with that. I want to back it up to talking about how to do more. We talk a lot about doing more, especially within this realm of authenticity. And we have, as creatives, a system, and it's kind of a survival system right now. We make dance videos, and then we're focused on YouTube, and we're trying to do this and this and this, and it's just kind of survival. We're doing the bare maximum, if you want to say it
bare
like that way.
maximum.
Like
Yeah.
you are doing everything all at once, everything everywhere all at once, but it's like you don't have time to like stop and say, let's rethink this. How can we change this? How could we step back and maybe it'll take us longer to do, but we could do it because we don't have time to do that. And so for me right now, talking about leverage and talking about leveraging that influence that we have right now and the budgets that we have right now, trying to figure out in your budget, how can I hire somebody to help me clean? That's not one more thing I'm worried about. How can I hire somebody? Well, hopefully that same person could water our plants for us. Could you hire somebody to post for you? Because that's a very daunting thing that takes us more hours of the day than it should because it's just like I'm overthinking it. And sometimes like when we're traveling, it's like if I can get one video posted a day, I'm great. And then I'll post the rest of them when I get home. But I would like to have a lot more of that like urgency to get it up, but I don't have time to like sit when I'm at a place, even if it's done.
And
to
that
do it.
because it's one of the many jobs that you have. And so it's like,
Right.
all right, well, we
Many of
all
the
have a
hats,
lot
yeah.
going on. We have our business, but we also have our
Right.
personal life. We got things that we got to take
Right.
care of for ourselves too. And so it's
Right.
like, you also don't want to be all business and then neglect your personal life because that's
Right,
how,
exactly, yeah.
top rated creators and salespeople end up in, multiple divorces, right? Like they're constantly.
Right. Oh, exactly. Oh, yeah.
Right. Like, so we have to spread ourselves so thin many times, especially as you are building something worth building. You have to find leverage points. You have to find places where you can bring someone in to say, you know what? Does it need to get done? Yes. But do I need to be the one
Right.
that's doing it? No.
Right.
Does my house
No.
need to be clean? Absolutely. Does my
Yeah.
does my yard need to be cut? Yes. Do my videos need to get
Yes.
posted? Yes. Do they need to get edited? Yes. But can I hire an editor to edit? Yes. Can I hire someone else to do my creative videos? No.
No.
And who's
No, I
better
still
at
gotta do
creating
that.
than me?
Right.
No one. So you
Yeah.
do what you do and let other people build their business doing what they do.
Right.
Right. And that's
Yes.
like what the leverage point is figuring out how you can kind of take away everything else so you can just focus on the creative.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Bingo.
then you can really hone in on that brand, the project, the focus, so that is everything that you're focusing on is this project and this,
Which actually
this
gives
ability to,
gives
like,
you
grow.
more time to even do other things, right? So now you can
Exactly.
start doing what you're great at, but also maybe take on a passion project.
Right.
Maybe travel, go to Japan, right? Do the things.
Yes. Oh,
You
that's
know,
not on the
you've got more
list. I don't
time
know
to
what you're
do it.
talking about. We make
I
that
don't
into
know.
content.
You just turn that into content.
We just do that and make it into content.
Well, somebody
We built
recently-
that into our brand. We literally, from the beginning of when we started really doing short form dance, we had the company reach out and they were like, "Hey, we can't hire you to like market for us, but we can hire you as photographers." And we still had the
production company
at
on the
time.
side.
So they would hire us to go take photos of these homes all over these like islands and different places around the US. So we would go and they're like, but we also want to give you enough time to go like shoot your content. So we would go around these islands. They would give us a car, like, oh, we had everything we needed, our own place to
Wow.
stay. And we would go around and film content. So they like understood the value
Right.
of paying us for a service they needed us to do, but then also giving us free time to go make this a part of our brand.
It wasn't incredibly lucrative, but it was fun. It was fun. But it was fun.
And so we were able to like really like see travel as a benefit, and then it really helped our content. People were like, I never know where you're gonna be next. Like they're like, we know you're gonna go to Japan every year, but we never know where you're going next. Like it's crazy. That's crazy.
That's one of the fun things that I like about y'all's videos is like, man, you always have a different background. You're never just shooting in your living room.
Yeah.
You're dancing in the rain, literally. Dancing in the rain in New York City. You know, you're doing a lot of fun stuff. Was there ever a video that like went viral and actually made your life harder?
We've been lucky.
We've been so lucky.
The one you're talking about, the dancing in the rain in New York, the only controversial thing about that one is that everyone thought it was AI. The rain looks fake because we literally, it's the first take.
One take.
Where we were hiding, we got it, we came out of the Harry Potter store and it started raining out of nowhere. And we were like, crap, we have to film this Chicago dance before we go to lunch with these friends. And like, it was just on the content list. So we were doing it
on the content list for the day.
And so we were like, well, we'll set the camera up under the awning of the building. You can actually
see there's a park in the background, and we were planning to shoot at the park. In that park. Where our subway stop was. That's where we were like, oh, we'll just go shoot at the park. So you can see it in the background, but you can see that our camera can't be in the rain. So we're up against the building, so the awning is covering the camera.
And then we're like, we got one take, let's do it. So then we went and did it, but it does look like at the end you can kind of see rain on our shoulders, but it was pouring. I like don't know how we didn't get more wet.
And we were just like, you could see at the beginning, we're just like, it feels so bad. But then it's funny, and it was crazy because it blew up in such a big way that we had no idea. I mean, I think the first 24 hours it had like 2,000 likes on it, and we were like, whatever. We almost didn't post it. We thought it was just going to be
lame, but then it blew up.
Like, oh.
But I don't think that we've ever had a viral video that's caused issues.
Yeah, where where people are like asking you more questions than you need, like unintended like drama, or maybe like you started getting hit up so much that you needed to like, I don't know, hire somebody to help handle the business that's coming in from the video.
Yeah. No, we did never have anything like that. That would be a good problem to have. I would love that.
That would be a good problem. That's what we call champagne problems.
Champagne problems.
Yes. No, actually, after that really viral video, we expected to have more work come in, because usually if you're exposed to a lot of new people, brand
are part of that.
They see that and they want to be a part of it. Chicago reached out and wanted us to actually be on the show. So we sent in a callback information, and we never heard back from them again. And that's because your boys are not the best singers, and that's okay.
Yeah.
We know that's our skill set.
But also,
I don't think we wanted to do it.
I don't really care to do 8 shows a week. I got to be perfectly honest.
So much work.
I would love the opportunity to say I've had my Broadway debut. Outside of that, like, there's not really any glitz.
It's more of like a bucket list thing to check off. And
yeah.
It was going to be like a 3-month contract. It wasn't going to be much, but it would take a huge hit on our content.
Yeah.
Unless we were able to keep up with our content schedule on top of 8 shows a week, which is just a lot.
A lot. It's brutal.
So
I will say though, the only time we've had like more of a controversial viral video wasn't even that controversial, but this guy filmed us dancing in the street. The street was closed. Half of the street was closed for road construction. You can't see it in the video, but the stoplight down the way was like blocked off, so you couldn't even go on that side of the road. But we're dancing on that side of the road while the light is green. So it does look like we're just dancing in the middle of an active roadway. We're not, but it looks like that. And so this guy filmed us from up there. We were filming down there. He found us because we posted the original video, and he was like, hey, I filmed you from my apartment. And we're like, that's so cool. Can we post this? He's like, sure. So we posted it. Didn't think anything of it. This was back in 21, Thanksgiving of 21, and it blew up. I think it's got like
24 million views.
Insane views. It doesn't look like we posted it though. It looks like he posted it because it's from a long way away. It doesn't look like intentional. Yeah. And so we didn't gain a lot of followers from it, but we did gain a lot of like, I can't believe they're dancing in the road. I can't believe they're like all this stuff. And we're like, it wasn't like controversy though, because nobody knew that it was us. Like I didn't realize that the account that posted it was also the account that was people dancing on the floor. We did make a follow-up video where we had it zooming in from that one, and then it jumped to the main video, and then the main video itself did well because of it.
Views and stuff.
It was fun.
So it was honestly, I'm so thankful for that. That was our first like really viral experience. We hit 100K on TikTok, I think, over that, and we were like, "Oh, this is crazy!" But I remember that was like the early days too of TikTok and stuff, and everything was just going viral for random reasons too.
Nobody knew how the algorithm worked on TikTok. It was just like, post stuff and see what happens.
Just see what really is. It was that way. That was the Wild West.
Yeah, I guess. But other than that, I don't think there's ever been we've never gone viral for being problematic.
No,
that I know of.
Yeah. No,
Well,
we're just too kind.
Let's
I think
let's keep it that way.
Yeah,
We're just too kind.
same.
We're genuinely we just genuinely love people so much so that sometimes we don't film content because we're too invested in talking to people. We just recently collaborated with Hilaria Baldwin, who was on Dancing with the Stars. She's Alec Baldwin's wife, and she's just the sweetest thing. And I know she's had her own controversies, and there's been things, but we got to go to her house in New York, and we were just hanging out with her, and it was so fun. We had 2 hours before her next meeting, like a time slot, and we just sat on our floor with her dogs, getting to know her dogs and her story. I didn't know much about her, so it was really fun to just ask questions about each other and just really get to know each other. The three of us were just sitting on the floor. Her dog loves me at the end. And so it just was so fun to be. But we got to the end. We basically got to the end of that. And we were like, we haven't filmed anything. We got to film something really quick. Like that's the point. So we had like 20 minutes to film 2 videos. But I think it's because I think some of what we do and what we feel like our passion is in encouraging other creatives and creators. And if there's any way we can do that through networking or through collaboration, then we want to encourage and just get to know you through that. And so we've built lifelong friends through collaborations just because the collaboration was the method in which we met, and then you're able to really create genuine relationship outside of that. And yeah, the collaborations are fun, and we love to collaborate, and that's a huge part of our brand.
But I think outside of the collaboration to be to encourage and
yeah,
and help. It is a lonely, like the fact that we have each other is huge.
Yeah.
Like I can't imagine doing this job without a helper. But then like most of my friends are solos. They're people that either they're married or they're in a relationship, but they're creating solo. And it's like, man, like my brain hurts.
Don't have anybody to bounce this stuff off of, right?
No. And so like for us, it's been such a blessing. And then to share that blessing with people and hopefully be part of their community of creatives that they can bounce ideas off of, or be like, I'm struggling with this. I'm so burnt out. It's like, yes, I hear that. Like, let's talk about it. Let's encourage each other. You're killing it.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
One of the highlights that I've seen of you guys, just watching you in action and, in real life, right? Out in the wild on like a Disney cruise line, when you guys are out there and all these creators are out there and like, you guys barely have a moment to breathe. Sometimes I kind of feel bad for you. I'm like, man, these guys, but you're always smiling. You're always saying yes, and before you know it, you're like dancing with whoever it is. And there's this big, thing happening where sometimes it might be like 4 of you guys, and then sometimes it's like 10 of y'all, and you've choreographed this whole thing. And I think it's so much fun to watch it. But sometimes Courtney and I, we look at each other like, yo, they are still going. It's like 2 a.m. on the deck, and you guys are still going. The pressure washers have started on the other side of the ship.
They are working, and they're like, can you guys move?
That was
like
Casey Stroh and
Cassette and her sister.
That was so fun.
Yeah.
That was crazy because we had worked
with Cassette all week.
That trip, we were all together for a week, and then we finished it with a cruise. So we had like 4 days at the parks and 4 days at the cruise. And that was crazy because it was so many people on one trip, and us loving community. We wanted to get to know as many people as we could. And throughout that process, we got to know some of the creators who just whoever you connect with. And so Cassette was one we connected with. I'm not a dancer, but I really want to learn the specific Beyonce dance that we had go viral for us. And also, I think Casey Stroh, who was in High School Musical, she had also had that go viral for her. So we were all together working throughout the entire week. Every chance we could get.
Every time I saw Cassette, Cassette was like, okay, show me it again. Show me it one more time.
So we taught Cassette her and her sister this entire week. And so it comes the last night, and we still haven't filmed it yet. We're like, okay, tonight's the night. We have to do it. And I remember being up on the deck, and I mean, we did, I don't know how many takes, a lot of takes. All of us, Casey, Paul, and I, wanted to make sure that both of them felt very confident in their performance, because if you don't feel confident, you will always look at those little factions
show up
in the videos.
Right.
Yeah. And it's such a special thing, too, to get to like teach somebody something new.
Yeah. And I also think, too, there was moments of exhaustion. We've been going, for a week of physical activity, mental activity. It has been a lot. And so at the end, I remember seeing Casey one time. She turned around, one of the girls had messed up, and she just was like, not pissed, like not like mad, just like so tired. We all look tired.
But then we rally. Everyone,
you rally and you put it on and you say, yeah, it was so fun.
But I think at the end of it, though, even though we were tired, even though we had probably spent an hour or something filming this video, it took a long time to get the take. But even after that, the reward from Cassette and her sister and the whole group of doing this thing, it was like you just say yes and you just rally and you make it happen. And I'm so thankful we did because I love those videos.
Yeah, those are so special.
Those memories that we have and those relationships. Now, every time I see those people, it's just like a reunion, like a family reunion. You are so excited to see everybody. It's so special.
That's so good, man. I love it. And again, you guys get so much joy, but you give so much joy in the process as well.
No,
thanks.
yeah.
You know, what's something that brands ask behind the scenes that audiences would never expect?
I mean, they generally sometimes don't like your ideas, and that's always hard. Or they'll like your idea, but then when you execute that idea, they don't like it. For example, I won't give any names, but we just did a job that won't even go on our account. It'll go on somebody else's account, but they like our video that we'd done with them before, and they're like, hey, can you make this video for somebody else? It's their products going on another like distributor's Instagram page. So we're like, cool, yeah, that's great. So we're out here cranking. We send in some ideas. They sent back the idea they liked. We executed that idea to the best of our abilities. And then today I got an email that said, we were really thinking of something like more high energy. And I was like, that's never been mentioned. The concept has been like completely like left field of what we normally create.
Yeah.
And so we worked really hard to make it like not like us, like to make it with the way you kind of specified.
But at the same time, we totally get it because the video that made them want to partner with us
was high energy.
Was high energy. So I'm like, oh, I get what you're saying, but your pitch originally is not a high energy concept. So we're gonna have to really figure out how to like
now.
So now it's a creative
retrospecting,
and now there's going to be some reshoots involved and stuff. But we're happy to do it because I do think that it is a good challenge for us. Again, we love the creative.
Oh yeah,
I love working with brands. I love shooting commercials and fitting it into and what we can bring to the table.
This was a little easier too because this doesn't even have to go on our account, so it doesn't have to look like perfectly like Twin Sauce. It can look like whatever like,
because it's not going on.
It's not going on my account.
But I do think that it's fascinating though. Our manager was like saw this video, this like very chill, very like mindful video, and was like, I really like this. This shows your diversity in the way that you can create in such a professional way. But then the brand was like, well, we really want you to be more like this other video that you did. And we're like, oh, okay. Like,
well, you could have led with that.
We could just lead with that.
Yeah.
Like,
just give us the use. Do what you do.
Do what you do. Yeah.
But it was still a fun exercise for us because we really going into the video were like, this is going to be a challenge because it's so different than what we normally do. But then when we did it, I was like, oh, it wasn't too hard. Like, we were able to make it.
So you guys have done a great job inviting people closer through Patreon and exclusive content. What do your most loyal followers get versus your casual followers?
I think there's a level of authenticity that comes behind the paywall. I think that we feel a little more comfortable because there's less people there. So you feel like there's a level of like a wall coming down. So do you feel like there is something that can be a little bit freer to share? It feels less pressured because it's going behind this paywall. At the same time, intimate. I feel like maybe, but I do feel like they often ask for less edited content. They want it more authentic. They want it longer and more real, which we're insecure about. So then it's like, oh, you actually want to see this. So it just is a good exercise in learning how to be authentic.
That's so good, man. They want to see the unpolished, raw, uncut you, not the polished you, right?
Yeah.
Which is great. Like, how does that feel to know that like people just want to see you and like who you truly are?
I think it's a little scary sometimes. There is parts of it that are like, oh, like you really want to see all of that? Like, okay. But then there's other parts of it that are like, it makes you feel like loved in a sense of like seen. Yeah. That you're like, oh, I feel like human and seen, whereas like so much of the time you're just objectified, not always in a sexual way. Sometimes it's just objectified in a human way of like, you are this, you are this, you are this, you are this.
Yes,
and
but I do feel like in that there's objectification of a lot of things. There's sexual objectification. There's just like quality of dance. There's all these elements that we give ourselves, vocal quality, whatever you have to objectify. But at the same time, the people who really buy into anyone see beyond that. And even in our regular comments, we don't see people objectifying. We see people encouraging the joy, really buying into who we are. And that's what we want more of. I think that's what you want as a brand. And I think that really in general, that's what you see is people really buying in.
Now, the challenge is, I think for buy-in, it's great. For virality, negative hooks always work better. Yeah. And Luke and I just aren't negative people at all. We were talking
even authentically, we're not negative.
Like, authentically, no. I mean, if we bicker, that's like the
unless it's about ourselves, we're not negative.
Unless it's about my shame. It is interesting to find within our creative structure that like sometimes I was like, comparing myself, which is the thief of all joy, but comparing myself to a fellow creative, and I was like, man, like their engagement is so great. And then like you look at the video that I'm looking at, and it's like got a negative hook that solves a problem. Now, is that a bad way to do it? No, like I need to learn how can I make a joyful hook negative to start, and then you
create
finish
a problem and you finish
turn
it.
it
Yeah, you
into
complete
joy,
it.
right.
Turn it into a
Now
joy,
I'm
yeah.
very bad at that because I don't think negatively to start with. So like I struggle
Right.
with that hook
There's
altogether.
a marketing loop that doesn't come
Yeah.
naturally.
Yeah, and so I have to work on that, which is fine. But I also feel like if you look at the 1%ers, they are not afraid of controversy. They're not afraid of being canceled and then resurging in a new way.
In fact, they
Which
lean
I am-
into it.
Yeah, they lean
In fact,
into
sometimes
it. Yeah,
they cultivate it.
Yeah.
Like you cultivate that kind
Right.
of like controversy to get you into public eye, to get your name talked about.
which I don't really love.
I hate that, man.
I
I
do
just
not
that
want
would
that.
give me so much stress. But I also think that they're
Learning from those elements, maybe.
learning to not be afraid to be authentically yourself, and if you ruffle feathers by being authentically yourself, we get people who are just like really, really offended by your joy or your happiness, or they feel like it's fake because there's no way it could be real. And that's again like, okay, like
You can choose to believe that.
yeah, you
but
could choose
that's
to
not
comment
right.
that. It's
but-
not true, but I do think that it's fascinating to see how, in a sense, that is what we get canceled for, as being too happy, or like that's
Wow.
what people are like saying to us, or that's the emails we get of people being upset that we're too happy.
I want to get to a lightning round real quick here. I want to give you some quick hits. First
Cool.
thing that comes to your mind. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh shoot,
What's one creator myth that needs to die?
Perfection is good.
that needs to die. No, authenticity is better.
Yeah. Yeah. Something you stopped caring about that changed everything.
Perfection. But even then, no, I think we stopped caring about perception. We attempted to stop caring about perception, and that has changed us and made us more active.
I stopped caring about pleasing everyone and only focusing on the people that I can connect with. Because like you will not
Find your
make-
people.
Find your people. Like even in influencer circles. If somebody doesn't want to give you the time of day, don't push it. Find somebody else. There's somebody
Find
else
your
out
people.
there.
You really are finding
That's
a
it.
clan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Your vibe attracts your tribe, right?
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
What's a mistake you would never repeat?
Just dancing.
If we would have
Just
known
dancing. Okay.
how powerful talking was.
Like your voice is.
Your voice. We failed. The daily vlog failed. So we were so scared to talk when dancing worked. But so we just danced
For years.
for years.
People didn't
And
hear our
that
voice.
was bad because
Bad.
people don't follow just dancers. They follow you. And so if you can't show them you outside of dance,
I have
They
so
leave.
many friends that or not friends, but like people I follow, and I love their dancing. I'm like, wow, you are such a talented dancer. I'm bored. And I have to take that note myself. I've watched you for a year, and I love everything that you're putting out, but I'm bored.
but I don't know you.
Because
I
I
don't
don't
know
know you.
Yeah.
I don't know you.
And
That's
I
it.
can't get to know you unless you talk to me, unless you like communicate with me.
And even if that video, even if you say your average dance video gets 100,000 views or 1,000,000 views,
And your talking video gets 100 views.
the 100 views are
Matter.
more important than the 1,000,000 because
That's
that's the
good,
buy-in. That's the clan. That's the people. They vibes your tribe. That's who you have to like. That's who sells. That's who's buying your product. That's who's buying your t-shirt.
Yeah. That's who's
That's really
supporting on
good.
Patreon.
Like that's who's supporting your page.
Yeah.
That's who's
Supporting
showing up to your live stream.
Yeah. Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, like those
That's who's
viewer
excited
numbers
about your
yeah.
brand deals. Who's
or
like,
excited about your trip you're going on.
Yes.
So like bring them in, and who cares if the total does? That doesn't matter. These people are the ones that are buying in.
yeah. I wish I would have
Man,
stopped just.
you
just
guys just brought
dancing.
took me down a completely different path, but I like it because one of the things that I always think about is like vanity metrics is a big deal.
Oh yeah.
How much weight is given to the vanity metrics, and
Oh,
and then the algorithm changes, right? Like I was just reading something the other day and talked about Instagram's new algorithm and how
Yep.
they're like weighting comments. Have you guys read about this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Even
like
the
it's a short,
Instagram
it's like a
CEOs
short
talk about it.
comment where it's just like fire emojis or
Yes.
fun or just that was amazing, right? Like
Dang.
there's so many bots that are leaving those comments that Instagram is weighing longer thread comments now because
Yeah.
most likely a real person wrote those
Is writing
comments.
it.
So it's actually going to help the algorithm more than people just going fire emojis. Oh my gosh!
Yep.
Because you get these whip communities. I'm sure you guys know about, right? Like,
Mhm.
hey,
Yeah.
whenever I post something, go in there and comment, and I'll do the same thing to yours. You got all these people doing that.
Yeah.
And
even if they're not bots, but it's not thoughtful, and therefore it doesn't matter. They're not watching the full video.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
That's even even they were talking about with watch time. To combat that as well is if you're not watching the full video. If you go into somebody's video, comment real quick and scroll on, like, what? Like that's that's a bad metric. That's not a good metric.
You to watch the whole video,
actually
then go
against
comment.
You.
Yeah. So like even if I've seen it, like, because I know we post across a lot of different platforms. So, but my other friends do that too. So if I'm on Instagram and I see it and I watch it all the way through, even 2 or 3 times for my friends, and then I'll comment something nice, and then I go over to TikTok, I will still sit through that whole video 2 or 3 times before commenting, just because I know that metric is the most important metric.
Yeah.
Even if it's like, I've already seen this like 3 times, but I don't care. I'll watch it. I'll give them.
That's anyway, people all the time.
Yeah.
The
vanity
the best way to support people is watch it, of course, but don't just like it and scroll. Like it and leave a thoughtful comment, or ask a question even,
Ask a question so I can engage with you. Yeah.
Yeah. The re-engagement. I think so many people miss the re-engagement part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's
we do, because we get so busy. But that's where it's I would love to have somebody that was posting for me, so I wasn't worried about just getting on the apps to post. I could get on the apps and respond and DMs and stuff. We just don't have time to keep up with it all, which is hard.
Well, that leads to my next question. What's one thing that you wish that you would have delegated sooner?
Posting. Yeah.
Although you still haven't delegated it yet.
No, it's on the list. We're still working on that one. But
it happened today.
We've talked about that for a long time. It is one thing we overthink and we stress about all day. And so we did a cruise one time, a transatlantic cruise, and we weren't going to have Wi-Fi for it. So it was 14 days. And so what I did is we asked our manager to post for us, and I just created a calendar, had the videos linked to Dropbox, and then I had the captions that we thought about, because she's like, I don't want to come up with any content. You just tell me what to post and I'll post it. So I was like, okay. So again, our manager, not an assistant, but she was helping us out. It was hard. That was really challenging to come up with 14 days of content to have ready to go in a Google Drive. But in a lot of ways, I wish I could go back to that and to say, okay, here's the stuff, and just make sure it gets posted at
but then it also
9 a.m. It's whatever.
Gives you a checks and balance. So it also, someone's expecting you to have something in the folder for that day. Someone's expecting you to have something ready to go for that day. And if you don't have it there, then there is a level of accountability as well, which is helpful, I think, for anybody. I think it's good to have that.
Yeah. I need accountability because I'm ADHD and I get lost.
Well, like I said, I'm happy to have that conversation with you guys and help you with that. Give me one word that defines this season of Twin Sauce.
Ooh, one word. Change. Yeah.
Change.
Evolution maybe is better, but
evolution.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have
reinvention.
Reinvention even. Okay, well, these words are getting actually better. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I think Twin Sauce right now is primarily a dance account. Our accounts have been predominantly dance, and any change to that
has only been when we travel.
Yeah.
So we really want to get better. The goal
in the everyday.
We have not been good at this, but we want to keep doing dance because dances that's what we built on.
And we love it.
We love it. And we love it. But we want to keep doing that while also adding in more of ourselves. So we want to try to do a talking video every day, but that's not happened. It's very hard to keep up with, especially because it's so outside of our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
But focusing on, especially with the taxes and stuff that we've had early this year, it's been difficult to do anything outside of just focusing on that.
Like maintenance dance content.
Just to keep up maintenance up. But we have a lot of stuff from our South Korea trip and our Japan trip that is us talking. It's vloggy. It's different because it was when we were traveling, that we're like, well, let's go ahead and post that. That is needing to go out. We want people to see those experiences, even though they're not current. We had kids at the dance studio being like, oh, I thought you were in Korea again. I was like, no, that's old.
Also, it's snowing in Korea. We would not be wearing shorts.
We're wearing shorts. Yeah, no. But I think that there is an evolution that needs to take place.
Mm-hmm.
It is we are actively moving toward evolution of how do we expound and create even our own formula for how to do the talking video, so it's less daunting.
And I don't think every video has to be necessarily talking, but we love fashion. We love fashion of the eras of the 80s, the 90s, and I love leaning back into fashion. But sometimes that fashion video could just be you showing off an outfit, and it's a video, and that's I overthink a video to the point where it's it needs a full production, and it's no, it literally doesn't.
It needs a clip.
You need to say, hey, Get rid of me for church.
Bring people into
Bam.
your world.
You're done. Yeah.
Like, what does that look like? Bringing people into your world where you don't overshare, because you don't want to there's a balance.
It's controlled authenticity or curated authenticity.
Because
like you want it to be authentic, but it's curated only the parts so that you don't overshare, because you can't overshare, and that's
absolutely.
You need to keep some things private.
There are
important.
there are things that are important to keep to yourself. Again, Paul and I love building Legos, and for some reason we were scared to build any set without filming it, which is bad. Like it should, that should be an escape. That can be an escape. It does not everything has to be content, but then is there a way to do it as content that would still feel like you're doing it for fun? It should still be fun.
Yeah.
So there is like I could film it, or I could just film it stag and just talk throughout it, and whatever happens, and there's no pressure. Like take the pressure off, and then maybe it'll be funny, and maybe it never gets posted. You just still do need to find things that are not filmed. You need to find.
Well, like you were talking about earlier, hobbies. If you hire out some of this help, you can have a side quest, a fun side quest that isn't filmed.
Yeah.
Like I think that's important to have, and I think our entire life since 2012 has been filmed. Like we just
film everything,
make everything content, and recently we've been able to discover that we can say no to that, and like when we're at home, not necessarily filming, but now we're realizing no, now this is the time we have to dig into that. What are we doing at home? How are we showing that?
What do you do at home?
How do you just show the behind the scenes of how you make a dance video? Like people are always curious at how you film your videos, and it's like, oh, I should make a video about that. Like it's not that hard. We do it every day.
Seriously.
Yes. And so it's like show the process of picking the outfits and the setting up the lights and but
it's multiple videos. It doesn't have to be one video production. It can be its own thing. Like and bring people in. You never know who it's going to talk to.
I mean, you guys mentioned it earlier. It's even a different angle of the same daggone video produces a completely different result, right?
Oh yeah.
And so if it's a video of you setting up the shoot to actually do the dancing, and there's a separate video of the head on the face, straight on video, right?
Well, and that's a buddy of ours.
And then what about one of the things that I always wonder, I'm watching y'all's video, I'm like, normal people walking the street like me, like what is their reaction to seeing you guys?
If I'm very honest, most people don't look at you,
especially
they just ignore you.
Especially
here.
Most people don't look at you because you're in New York. People are used to people just going crazy in New York.
Here, they'll just walk past you. They don't look at you, or they know who you are, and they're like, "What's up, They'll do that.
We have that.
But for the most part, people just walk by. Sometimes the ladies, we dance over here at a courtyard, like pretty close
relatively
by,
often,
and we dance there a lot. But there's a bank across the street from that courtyard.
And sometimes they tap on the window.
They'll tap on the window when you're dancing, or like one time a security guard came up and she was like, "The ladies at the bank love you dancing.
Yeah,
they love you online." I was like, "Oh, thanks." So cute.
So I think it's hard because we don't even, again, maybe they look more than we think too. Our policy,
don't make eye contact
in public, is never make eye contact. Like we try really hard to never make eye contact. We look at the camera or each other, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's the only way
it looks
get
like
out of our heads.
Don't bother me, right?
Don't bother me.
Well, it's not even don't bother me. It's more for my own personal, like if someone's scoffing at me, I'm gonna wilt into a little tiny little piece, like I can't handle the rejection. So like in order to like stay in the moment and like perform, I have to literally just be like,
who was it? We were in New York, and there was somebody just like looking at us. We were with Melissa, and somebody was just like, and I was like, I was like, and I honestly, I don't think I have to say I don't wilt quite like that. But the other part is that like, oh, Melissa's here to dance with us, so like I have no choice but to suck it up and do it.
Yeah. And honestly, I think too, having more than one person, if I was by myself, it's all over. I don't think I could ever do it. But because there's two of us usually,
that's right.
It's nice to have a backup.
And you're both committed. We're in.
You're both committed. But when you have three people, like you have the majority. So somebody's scoffing off to the side.
You're like, get a life.
You're like, get a life. But then also, most people are just staring at you like, this is so cool. So it's fun.
People comment all the time when you're dancing in public. They're like, how are people not like stopping, like staring at you? And I'm like, because we've done it 3 or 4 times. Like
this isn't
the first take. We didn't just set up and do it. It's taken multiple takes, and they're bored of it by now. Or they might not be bored of it. They're just trying to not look rude in the background of the video. Like,
so there is like there is an element.
That's a great point. Yeah, I didn't think about that. They probably watched the first 2 or 3 times and like these guys are together. I'm going on with my
These
day.
guys, they got some
Or
rehearsal
they're
to
like,
do.
the last two were totally fine. Oh, I don't know why they keep doing it, but okay.
Yeah,
like,
they'll be like, the last two were just fine.
Yeah.
Why do they keep going?
why are they going
Because we're
again?
perfectionists.
All right, question for you, and this is probably coming up to the last question here. If
Cool.
all the platforms disappeared tomorrow, what principle would you rebuild everything on?
Ooh,
Purpose,
that's a great
faith,
question.
value, identity. What does that look like for you?
I think purpose, and I think it would come
would
down to
still come
just
down to
till-
people.
and people and sharing joy. I think the world is so sad.
You can't like monetize that. It's hard. Like if all the platforms went away and we had to rebuild on our project or our purpose, whatever that is, I think it would come down to education and joy. I think it would come down to there's communication, there's stuff we've learned from this, there's hard work, there's editing practices. Obviously, there's less demand for the influencer because all the platforms disappeared. But in the same area, there is valuable lessons we've learned that would go into real estate, that could go into any kind of marketing on television, because that's not a platform. But there's like, you could go back into television marketing. We could go back into making videos for weddings. Like there's so much. And then
Consulting.
also
Consulting.
teaching. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
consulting would be a huge one for us. But figuring out how to leverage what we've learned and then consult and sell that and package it. And now that we've packaged ourselves in a sense to the internet, it wouldn't be very, very difficult.
Also,
to
we've
continue
made
to
so
package
many, and I mean by so many friends, I mean so many friends in high places that like I would immediately go looking for a job in marketing for
Yeah.
companies that I love,
Yeah.
people that I've loved to work with. Like there's so many people that I would approach, and now they may not have jobs, but I would love to go work for some of these. Obviously, some of the if the platforms were right, some of those companies would have to adjust.
Yeah.
But I would love to go work in marketing in some of these companies. So somebody recently asked us what is the goal? What's like the 10-year plan? I was like, I don't have all my 10-year plans have gone out the window since I started. So like I anymore don't have much of a 10-year plan other than that I want to continue to grow this thing and continue to bring joy to people that are lonely. And like if I can do that, great. If I can't do that anymore because the platforms go away, then let me find a way to invest in people, consult, invest in other creatives that are pursuing other dreams and tell them what I've learned. Like there's so many things you can do.
Move it to professional marketing,
Yeah.
acting, whatever doors open that could be led to through this. I mean, like there is so much. I mean,
As long as
reality
there's no singing
television,
involved.
there's
Oh
no
yeah,
singing.
apparently not.
I'm so
No.
sorry.
Listen, I can match pitch. But the minute you start having me hit F sharps for 8 sustained measures, I am not about to hit those notes anymore. I'll hit them for 4, and then I drop out.
Oh,
that was
it was so
brutal.
hard. That was such a hard audition, and it was whatever. It is
The
what it
dancing,
is.
so much fun.
It is.
Well,
so
you
much
guys are
fun.
awesome,
Anyway,
man. Listen, this is what leverage actually looks like. Clarity over chaos, structure over hustle, and alignment over ego. So, Paul and Luke, thank you so much for the honesty, your strategy, your energy. And to everybody else who's listening, don't just consume this. Apply one thing and let leverage do the rest. Because this is the Leverage Lounge. And we'll see you next time.